Welcome back, Future AMPs. Today we're going to talk about how to complete the crankshaft runout check. All right. So a couple things that you need to know is that if you go into the overhaul manual, it's going to tell you which ones are the main journals. So for our 070 a Continental engine, we have 4 main journals. All right. So when you go to set it up, or before we do that, we also want to look at the limits. So the limits are 15 thousandths. All right. So as long as you're not more than 15 thousandths, then you're good to go. So let's talk a little bit about the setup. So before you go to set it up, what I'd recommend is go ahead and take some Scotch-Brite and clean the surface a little bit of the crankshaft, especially if it's kind of like just been sitting around. Next, I recommend putting it on a toolbox because what you're going to need is the magnetic stand, and the magnetic stand is not going to work on wood. All right, so use it. Use the toolbox. Okay. As far as the setup goes, put it on stand. I I would rotate it a couple of times to make sure that it settles, and then when you go to use your dial indicator, I do the same thing. Right, rotate it a couple of times, make sure that it settles. Then once it does that, then you make sure you zero your dial indicator. Right, once it's zeroed and you're on one of the journals, right now I think we're on the number 1 journal, and we can go ahead and rotate the crankshaft, right, and be mindful of your rotation. Don't be a little bit how do you say, a little bit ginger. All right, slowly rotate the crankshaft, and then take note of the deflection from 0. All right, so as long as you're less than 15 thousandths, then you should be good to go. Right, this one was about like 3,000 total. Right, so if it goes 1,000, it goes a minus 1,000ths and a plus 2,000ths, then the total is 3,000ths that you have of the runout. All right, so that's how you do the crankshaft runout check. Right, so again, so follow the maintenance manual, get your setup right. All right, make sure your dial indicator is set correctly, right, so that it doesn't move too much, because if it's not nice and rigid, you're not going to get a good reading. All right, so anyways, that's how you do the check, and this is for your AVA lab 71-5. Right, so this is part of your lab crankshaft runout check. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.